What do you mean, controversial favor? I'm sure you're wondering. Well, I mean that when God says something positive about us or says we are blessed or favored, it appears that things instantly worsen. We begin to face hurdles and hardships, and it may be quite perplexing and distressing. Why is this happening to me? We wonder. I'm supposed to be lucky, blessed. So, what happened? Why does God's favor sometimes result in difficulties? Let's get into it. In the realm of theology and apologetic, there exists a paradox as profound as it is perplexing. It is a paradox that beckons us to explore the intricate tapestry of God's divine plan, a plan that weaves threads of favor and controversy into the very fabric of our existence. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a contemplative journey into the enigmatic nature of God's favor and the inexplicable controversies it often stirs. Have you ever noticed that as soon as God announces His blessings upon you, prophesying greatness over your life, an inexplicable wave of hardship seems to wash over your path? In the midst of such divine paradoxes, we embark on a quest for understanding and exploration of biblical narratives, theological insights, and apologetic reasoning. Together, we will seek to unravel the mysteries of God's favor and the profound purpose it serves amidst the turmoil it may bring. Join me as we navigate the intricacies of this divine paradox, diving deep into the realms of theology and apologetic to fathom the timeless wisdom concealed within God's seemingly controversial favor. This is a journey of faith, intellect, and revelation, a story of the divine interplay between favor and tribulation that has unfolded since time immemorial. To unravel this divine paradox, we turn to the sacred pages of the Bible, where the stories of individuals like Mary, Joseph, and Job reveal the intricate interplay between God's favor and life's complexities. Job, in the book of Job, Job 1 verse 8, we encounter a man who, in the eyes of the Almighty, was deemed blameless and upright. However, the moment God pronounced His favor upon Job, an unforeseen tempest of suffering and pain swept through his life. Job's story exemplifies how divine favor, though a blessing, can paradoxically be accompanied by trials that test the very core of one's faith. Moses and the Israelites. The tale of Moses and the Israelites presents another striking example of the controversial nature of God's favor. God's promise to take them from slavery to the promised land, a land flowing with milk and honey, seemed like the pinnacle of divine favor. Yet, for 40 arduous years, they traversed a desert fraught with challenges, doubt, and hardship. This narrative illustrates that God's favor often entails a transformative journey that molds His chosen ones for a higher purpose. David, anointing David as king over Israel, 1 Samuel 16 verses 11 to 13, marked a moment of profound favor. Yet, immediately, his life became a perpetual battle against adversaries, with constant threats and adversaries seeking to end his life. David's story underscores that God's favor, while a mantle of honor, does not exempt individuals from the struggles and tests that life presents. Abraham, God's promise to Abraham to make him the father of all nations, evinces divine favor of the highest magnitude. However, this favor was tested when God asked him to sacrifice his beloved son, Isaac, and send away his other son, Ishmael. Abraham's journey showcases that God's favor can demand profound sacrifices on the path to fulfilling His divine plan. Noah, in the narrative of Noah, we witness a world marred by wickedness and divine disapproval. God, finding favor in Noah, commanded him to build an ark to save his family. Yet, between the divine instruction and the flood's arrival, Noah endured the mockery of a skeptical world, illustrating that divine favor may require steadfast faith in the face of societal disdain. Gideon's calling as a great and mighty warrior, Judges 6 verse 12, seemingly heralded divine favor. However, after destroying the altar of Baal, his own townspeople sought to kill him. In this story, we glimpse the silence of God during times of adversity, emphasizing the paradoxical nature of divine favor. Hosea, a prophet of God, exemplifies how even those called by the divine may face relentless challenges. His tumultuous marriage and prophetic ministry highlight that God's favor does not shield his chosen from the complexities of life. The puzzling nature of God's favor and the simultaneous emergence of challenges finds its roots deep within the biblical narrative. To comprehend why divine favor can sometimes seem controversial, we turn to the sacred text itself. Spiritual refinement. God's favor is often accompanied by challenges to refine our character and strengthen our faith. As 1 Peter 1 verses 6 to 7 tells us, "In all this you greatly rejoice, though now for a little while you may have had to suffer grief in all kinds of trials. These have come so that the proven genuineness of your faith, of greater worth than gold, which perishes even though refined by fire, may result in praise, glory, and honor when Jesus Christ is revealed." Fulfilling God's plan, divine favor may include hardships because God's intricate plan requires a preparation process. In the case of Joseph, his time in prison was part of the divine blueprint leading to his role as Egypt's prime minister, as affirmed in Genesis 50 verse 20. "You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good to accomplish what is now being done, the saving of many lives." Humble dependence on God, challenges that accompany God's favor teach us to depend humbly on Him. In 2 Corinthians 12 verse 9, the Apostle Paul writes, "But he said to me, my grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. Therefore, I will boast all the more gladly about my weaknesses, so that Christ's power may rest." Navigating the intricate terrain of God's controversial favor necessitates a steadfast and faith-driven response. Drawing from both personal experiences and biblical wisdom, here are some guiding principles to help us respond with grace. Maintain perspective, keep an eternal perspective. Understand that the challenges we face in this life are temporary. 2 Corinthians 4 verses 17 to 18. Embrace humility, acknowledge that God's ways are higher than our ways. Isaiah 55 verse 9. Humility paves the way for us to accept God's favor as a gift rather than an entitlement. Endure with patience. In times of adversity, remember that God's timing is perfect. Ecclesiastes 3 verse 11. Patient endurance through trials refines our character and deepens our trust in Him. Seek God's guidance. Consistently seek God's guidance through prayer, meditation on His Word, and seeking wise counsel. Proverbs 3 verses 5 to 6. This fosters a deeper connection with God, enhancing our ability to discern His purpose. Maintain an attitude of gratitude. Cultivate a heart of thanksgiving, even in the midst of challenges. 1 Thessalonians 5 verse 18. Gratitude reminds us of God's faithfulness and goodness. Stay grounded in faith. Hebrews 11 verse 1 reminds us that faith is the substance of things hoped for. Hold fast to your faith in God's promises even when circumstances seem adverse. Learn from biblical examples. Draw inspiration from biblical figures like Joseph, who remained faithful amidst trials, knowing that God's plan was at work. Genesis 50 verse 20. The silence of God can be a profound and perplexing experience for those traversing the path of faith. It's in these moments of apparent divine quietude that we often glean some of life's most significant lessons. In contemplating God's silence, we must first acknowledge that His ways are beyond our comprehension. Isaiah 55 verses 8 to 9. His silence does not equate to absence or indifference. Rather, it serves purposes often concealed from our immediate view. During these moments, we learn the virtue of patience. It's in the silence that we are reminded that God operates on His timetable, not ours. Psalm 27 verse 14. We also come to appreciate the importance of unwavering faith. Hebrews 11 verse 1. Even in the absence of apparent divine intervention, our trust in God's goodness and sovereignty remains unshaken. Now, I invite you, my dear friend, to reflect upon your own journey. Have there been times when God's silence left you bewildered or questioning? Can you recall moments when you found unexpected strength in that very silence? As you ponder these questions, consider how the lessons from God's silence can be applied to your life. Embrace the patience, trust, and unwavering faith that the silence imparts. Know that in those moments, as paradoxical as it may seem, God is often at His most active, working behind the scenes for your ultimate good. In your own journey, may you find solace in the knowledge that God's silence does not signify abandonment, but rather the unfolding of a grander narrative, one in which His presence is constant, His wisdom unfathomable, and His love unending. Finally, our investigation into the contentious nature of God's favor and the deep truths discovered in His silence has brought us to a profound realization: steadfast trust is the foundation of our spiritual path. We've discovered the beauty and intricacy of God's divine design as we've walked through the lives of biblical people and the rich fabric of heavenly favor and silence. Unwavering faith is our anchor in the face of suffering and God's cryptic silence. Faith enables us to negotiate the dispute of God's favor, to bear hardships, and to make sense of His silence. Faith helps us to see past the difficulties and discern the purpose in every situation. So, my viewers, I beg you to accept steadfast faith as your guiding light. Allow it to be the driving force that drives you through life's complexity and the basis for a greater relationship with the divine. As you leave this thoughtful trip, may you take with you the lessons you've learned, the knowledge you've gained, and the unshakable faith that will equip you to confront life's difficulties with grace and fortitude.